Hey everyone, welcome back to Steve's Place Down Under. Today we're going to try and get this Chamberlain going. If you didn't see the episode where we picked this up, just go back a few because the way we've been putting these out is a little bit off because I've done other pre-recorded jobs in here. We've been getting those out as it's raining and things change here. So just go back and look for you'll see it sitting in the grass, this particular tractor, where we picked it up from. This one is still in the family. It was my grandfather's, and I found out where it was, and when I say still in the family, it's never been sold. So out of anyone in the family, I was the only one interested, as far as I know, to go and get it. So I did that with the Kenworth. We went and picked it up. I've never had anything to do with this. I drove it once when I was very young, but it spent a lot of time up where we got it from. So my uncle had a gravel quarry up in the Hunter Valley many years ago, 26 years ago actually. He was first using this when he first got going until he obviously could afford better equipment. Then he bought proper front end loaders and stuff, as far as I believe. So this was used, and then it went somewhere else, and then it was tilt trade back to where it sat for the last 26 years in the grass. But before that, it could have been 10 years before it ran too, so I don't know. So obviously, well, it wouldn't have been 10 years because I'd probably 5 years before that. So it's probably 30 years it hasn't been running. It does move over. I put a bar on it last week and it does spin. I put the starter in and it spun it, but it stopped again. So whether it's water or rust, I don't know. So we're going to set the valves, maybe pull the injectors out and just see what we can do to get it running. To get it on the truck last week, we put it's got 18-428 tyres on it, and it was completely stuffed. If you just go back and watch that video, you see it's changed his tyre. So I put a 16-928 on it that I got off the next door neighbour, which will stay there because I haven't got another 18-4, but they're the same rim size. All it cost me really was a tube. The front 920 pumped up. It doesn't look real good, but I think we got 15 PSI in that just to roll it on the truck, and it's certainly going to do to unload it too. I put the starter on, which is a rebuilt one off another Chamberlain I got here. It did wind, as I said, but that was only using jumper leads because there's no battery leads left on it. It sort of all works. The clutch I was using to stop it because we were loading it on a bit of a hill, so she didn't run away, so that was working. Brakes, they move, but probably better, more efficient using the clutch just to slow it up. The engine, all I can see that's open really is there's a couple of things. The top of the injector lines are gone. That one in there doesn't look real good at all. We'll probably pull those out, and it's obviously going to have water in those, but pop all those out. That's just your leak off line. Just have a look in those. And I did notice, we'll just go around the other side here, the bucket actually didn't have any holes in it when we left, but the road shook all the rust out of her, and now she's fairly see-through. And I noticed the power steering pump had no cap on it. I tipped a bit of oil in there before we come home just to loosen it all up. And the engine filler cap, if you can see through there, those holes in it, so that's not good. But I did have the plug out of the sump I dropped about a litre out of it, and there was no sign of water at all. So that was before we started moving it and stirring it up. So that should have been on the bottom if that was the case, but it wasn't. Air cleaner bowl was full. All I can hope for there is it leaked out of this joint and didn't get high enough into the pipe here and run into the engine. But I think what I'll do is I'll take that tappet cover off and hold some valves down. Actually, I just noticed that nut missing off that thread there too, which is a bit of a low spot where it could have been dripping in. I'll take the tappet cover off, see how all the valves are. May even set those. While it's apart, a bit of rust here, I'll probably emery off. I noticed the steering cylinder's the same. Some bloody paper there, long strip of it, I'll give that an emery. It is missing a cylinder, but that's been missing they were using it like that. So those lines are blocked off. It's only running off this one. It seemed to be working all right, but this day and age on eBay or even stuff I've got laying around, I might even have something to suit that. Had an exhaust over it for a couple of years apparently, but then it's blown off, but you know the rain would have to be on the right angle to blow down that that bend it's got there is a Chamberlain 9G. This is my 5th Chamberlain now, I think, at my place. There's another one over there that belonged to my grandfather too, and these were both his. So we've got that one here, and then this one. I've got the whole set. I noticed it's missing a thrust bearing off the kingpin there too, which I've got a 6G here and 2 reverse 9Gs, which are, one's a crane, one's a loader, and now this one. They're all done the bearing on the same side. Well, not the same side, but the same axle, just on one side. So, which is a load-bearing axle, which a load-bearing bearing, which would make it very hard to steer. So I need probably 4 of them to do all of them. I won't put a full set in them; it just adds up too much. But so I think we're going to get the tappet cover off. I'll drain the oil. Probably pull those injectors out. I don't know. I don't really want to disturb them, but they don't look right either. I'd like to get it going and get a bit of heat and fuel up through them and see if they'll free up and start leaking out. But that's been used like that. I can't imagine that being taken off, because the 6G I've got's got the 270 Perkins in it as well, and it's not like that, but there's no hose between them and they don't leak, which is a bit of a worry, but anyway, they work. So that's all I can really tell you. The fuel rack, I played with the throttle and it wasn't there to start with, but now it's there. So I'd say the rack was stuck, but it's not now, which is another good sign. I've been spraying these levers just with a bit of penetrant and they've come good. I haven't tried that high, medium and low stick. Whatever it's in, it was working. It was slowing it up when I was letting the clutch out when it was rolling down the trailer. So yeah, that's an overview of her anyway. Just going to interrupt this video. I had someone reach out to me through email that wanted to not sponsor me, but for me to give one of these battery chargers a go and just explain how it works and everything. I don't really accept too many collaborations because they're all things that won't suit me, but battery chargers and jump start packs do. Now the company said that I get to keep this. I don't get anything else in return. I need to keep this. So if you buy anything through them, it's not going to me. But there is a promotion code that lasts till the 31st. So if you are interested, click in the link below. But just to give them a go. Now I do charge a lot of batteries here, but I just get the cheap ones off eBay or whatever I've had over the years. But this particular one, TB6000 Pro, it connects to your phone too. I've never used it. I've never even opened it. So I had to download an app on the phone, and then that says add device. So I suppose when I turn this on, it'll pick it up, and it wants to use Bluetooth as well. So it must link with it somehow and tell you battery conditions and all sorts of stuff. So it's a load tester as well as a charger, I believe. Quite a good brand actually. When I've done a bit of research just so I could do a little bit of talking about it, but I've never heard of them, but it's fairly well known. As soon as you type it in, it comes up, good comments and reviews and stuff. So I'll do an unboxing of it, and then I'll do a battery charge while we're trying to start the tractor. Okay, so I'm going to open it up. Looks like it has been opened, but I haven't opened it yet. Okay, so there's the unit, obviously. It's not bodgy packaging either, like some of the stuff I get off eBay. It's all quality stuff by the look of it. Okay, so you got the unit. It's only got one button on it, so it must be controlled through your phone. Obviously alligator clips. And then another, I guess that's if you wanted to hardwire a battery system, I suppose. It's got the 2 eyelets on there, and that just plugs in there. Look at that. Then you just got your 240 here for Australia, or different plug for wherever you are, I guess. So I'll put a battery on it and see what it does. It must link with the phone for all your settings, so I'll do that now, see how it works. Okay, I've just got on a Caterpillar battery here. That's a very old battery, but it still holds charge. So we took that away with us last week to try and start the tractor and to lift the ramps up on the old floaty. It's saying 12.6 volts. That doesn't mean it's in good condition, that's just the voltage in it. So I suppose you can do a load test, but I didn't have to do anything on here. I pressed that thinking it wasn't turned on, but it already is, and it went to 6 volt or 12 volt, so it's back on 12. And it was flashing Bluetooth on the screen here until I opened that app, and it said to add it. Now it's connected. So I assume I touch that, charging history, it's got all these options here. Smart charging. So I'm just learning this in front of you all. Battery standard. I'll have to look up and see what sort of battery that is, but it's got all these options. Battery rating. I suppose you've got to fill all that in first. Okay, so it's a little bit more complicated than the $30 eBay one I've got there. You've got to punch all the information in of the battery. So I had to Google that CAT part number, and it gave me all the information anyway. So 750 cold cranking amps. I don't know about the time. I think being smart, it should cut out itself. I'm not sure what that's for. 12 volt normal. It has got a repair mode on it, which will bring sulfated batteries back from life. So that's quite interesting. So I think I've got it all set right. That's in manual mode. If I click start charging, pre-testing battery, you can see something flashing on the screen here. Battery level 85%. Something's happening. I didn't fill a couple of these things in, as I said, but I'd have to read up on it more. But it's given a percentage there. It should go to about 13.8, I'd imagine. So we'll come back and see what that does. We'll get back into the tractor. So you're all going to be seeing this for the first time with me. At the same time as me, should I say. I thought of pulling it off up there, and I thought, no, we've got daylight ahead of us, let's just get it loaded and get it on while we've got all that time spare. Probably should have wire brushed them old threads. It's 38 UNF, and anything fine with a bit of rust on it's not fun to play with. I've got battery guns and air guns, but I'd rather do this. I'm not snapping anything. That's a 4270 Perkins. They're the same as in the 6Gs are, the 9G, but the 6G's got an inline Sims type injector pump. This has got the CAV rotary injector pump on it. I'm sure there's a couple of other changes on the engine, but that's the main difference, I believe. Many spots to sit spanners up here. She's certainly been off over the years, a few washes and it missing off her. Complete nut. Got the belt tighten, a bloody regulator there. Okay, she looks pretty good. Looks very good actually. Bit of condensation there, but there's no rust. You can certainly set of feeler gauges underneath, it wouldn't hurt. It's fairly excessive, but it's better than tight. I expected a lot of rust actually with no bloody bonnet on it and the condensation out of that cover with all the rain we've had, but you see the one that had no nut on it, so I was worried it was going to do to the rest, but it's only just sort of sat there. Very happy with that so far. So I've decided I'm going to pull the injectors out. Obviously you need to get a full turn out of the engine to well, 2 full turns, but it needs to go around once to prove it's not stuck anywhere, and to set the, obviously just to start it as well as set the valve. So I might just pop these out, at least then I can get some lubrication into each cylinder. If there is a bit of rust, or it may even let the water out. It might be on compression stroke on one of them, trying to compress some water, I'm not sure. I can hear my son coming over. Both my sons. One's interested in tractors and one's not. They both like coming over here. So I might just set the cover back on. I should have done it before that, doesn't matter. Set the cover back on, just blow around those injectors. Some compressed air. I don't really like my chances of those coming out too easy, sort of, because they're not a tight fit. Well, they are sort of not, but they're not interference. They fill up with water and rust, and then they generally grow into the head. But we'll get those nuts off and see how we go with it. What did I bring there? 9/16. Oh, bloody smaller than that, 1/2 inch. I just went and looked at that battery charger, and the phone's still sitting next to it. It's all showing data that it's 100% full charge, 13.8. So that's good. I might have to go down and plug it onto another one. So I'm going to need one for this anyway. If we get enough time to start it, even to wind it over, I'm going to need one. I couldn't wind it over by the fan last time, which is what I generally do when I'm doing valves on these smaller engines. Thanks to everyone who's watching at the moment. Please click the like button, subscribe, share it if you do like what you're seeing. My tractor episodes don't do really well But you know, the community I got going, they seem to enjoy it. And if you don't want to subscribe, just click the like button. That really helps too. I actually need a bonnet for this if anyone in this. Hi mate. Tractor, yeah. You want to have a look at her? If anyone in the Sydney area's got a bonnet for a 9G, please get hold of me, email. I don't want it for nothing. Email, Instagram, Facebook. I've got both of those accounts under the same name, Steve's Place Down Under. It'd look a lot better with the bonnet on it. It is missing a few other bits and pieces, but nothing noticeable. And cosmetic stuff. But so all those are out. I've got a heel bar here, and I just see if that's going to do the job. I assume they're going to be stuck in there. I'll lift that cover back off so I've got a bit more room. Not much room to sit tools here, and I'm still up on the trailer, so it's not. Can't put a table or nothing next to me either. Jeez, they're tight. Oh, that one came. Have to blow it down again so I can, once it's all loose. And she came, that one, in the end. Someone's got to come first, don't they? Oh, there she goes. Always one. Bit of an awkward position here at the moment. Bastard. Oh, there she goes. I'm shaking the tractor that much. I'm worried the camera's going to fall off the radiator surround. Well, it's a pretty good result. Sit this old cover back on. Get some more wind around her. Got to go to a truck club meeting this afternoon in at one of the local sports clubs here, and it sort of limits your time on a Saturday with that sort of thing. But is what it is. It allows us to get the registration on the trucks and that, so it's a small price to pay. Go and have a couple of schooners and listen to what they're talking about. It's nice beer in there actually. Good price. Okay, so all the squirters are loose. I have got a tester, but I think the injector itself would be right. It's just stuff in the top here where I don't think it would have leaked down because the line's still got fuel in it. So needs to be a longer foot on the heel bar here. Okay. They're all loose enough. I've just got nothing to really lever off for the last bit of it. I'm limited with tools up here unless I keep getting down. I'd rather not do, then you end up with too much stuff. He's right, that one. Okay. I think they've only got a seal on the end of these. Just run that round the wire wheel and excuse me, put them back on. Won't keep them in order, it doesn't matter with these old girls. Unless you're trying to diagnose a problem. We're not here, we're just trying to get it going. Alright, so you just got to make sure, when I say the same cylinders, you just got to make sure sometimes the seal, the copper washer stays down in there, sometimes it'll come with the squirter, so it's basically all you got to, if you're swapping them around or just putting them anywhere like I am at the moment, just make sure that's how they are. Sure you can spot the seal before you put them all back together. So I might put a bit of ATF down those, some sort of lubrication anyway, and just try and hook some leads up to that starter, and might squeeze some water out. It might just help it lubricate whatever's in there, if that's not the case. You bastard. My supply of automatic transmission fluid is not here at the moment. I've got a bigger container that I fill my 5 litre bottle up out of, and it's down the back, so I'm just using some engine oil. A bit thicker than what I'd like, but it's still slippery. Probably just filling the crown of the piston up, not going to hit the walls at all, but anyway, a bit of that spray even mist in there, it might help. My cheap hardware shop bloody spray. Okay, now I might just give that starter a bump, and I'm going to leave the camera exactly where it is. Just hope she doesn't, well, I hope one's full of water and it squeezes it out, but two, I hope it doesn't cover the camera. But I want you to see all the valves move and see if she does move and all this sort of thing, so I'll leave it there. I'm just going to set a battery up. Just before this is the battery I'm going to use. This charge is already finished. It's been about 25 minutes. It's saying 100% here. Charging, good guess, 28 minutes. It's saying 12.8 volts. I would have thought it'd hold more than that, but it's saying 100% too, so we're going to use that one. It's also saying it regenerates batteries, like I said. I won't do it in this video, but I've got a few here. I might do one off camera so I can actually talk about it, but I've got a few here that before they go to scrap, I might try and bring them back to life. So, but I'm going to put it on that little one now. Just got to enter the details, and I'll charge that one up. And this one's out of the old Sami Centauro that I had all that trouble starting on that Mercedes video. So whether it's flat, I know the starters had it too, but it's obviously down as well. So actually I might put that on first because all the information's still on top there. I'm going to give the starter a bit of a flick. It's going to go all over me if it's full of water, but try and stay out of the way as much as I can. Sure she's out of gear. Don't like it. It's got to a spot where it's not wanting to come past. Front pulley's not easy to get on unless I drop that starter off and just try and bar it more. Could be something else locked up in the transmission or something, but I don't really know. Alrighty, so I just went and got the old stirring stick out of my Farmall A. That already had a bend in it, so that's not how much weight I've been putting on it. It's still solid, so I just got the bar in the flywheel, took the starter off and wound it back opposite direction of rotation. And I'm just going to use the old crank handle of the stirring stick here to bring it back up to where it is tight, and then I might just see if one of those valves aren't stuck down touching the piston. So that's the next thing. I don't think there's any water in there anymore. I think it has been in there and either a valve stuck or there's a rusty ring around one of the bores. So put my boot on that. I'll set yours up here again. I haven't got my cameraman today. She's over in the house. She stopped solid. It felt quite good until then too, so fairly free. So probably an overkill. See if any of these, it's not that one. That one does seem tight, but not really getting in there real easy either. There's a bit of movement there. Not that buggery. It's not in. It's not them. I don't know about this bastard at the front here. Depends on where top dead is, I suppose. I could check that, but oh, no, it's not him either. So it's got to be a rust ring. So the thing is whether I push rod come out, whether I force it past that or take the head off. I don't really want to hurt it, but if we can dissolve that ring. It's none of those valves hitting the piston, that's for sure. Okay, so we got the old girl full of lizards piss. I found it's easy either way until it hits this certain spot, but it feels like it's slowly coming through it as the bit of a solution we put in there is slowly eating away at whatever's in there. But Mick's just suggested we have a light snack. So we're just gonna, probably exactly what we're gonna do. If there's any in here. Oh, there's a couple left. Don't look at the VB on the bottom shelf. It's been there for a long time. It's going to stay there a lot longer too, that's right. Alrighty, it's about an hour later. I've just had the bar in there on the flywheel and it came through that tight spot, so it's still full of whatever I tipped in there. And it's came through it. I've had it round probably 3 times with the bar, so I might put the starter on there and just sort of spin it a bit quicker with that stuff still in there. It's going to blow a majority of it out, but it's still going to be lubricated. Put a rag over there so it doesn't blow everywhere, and we'll just get it spinning like that. I won't do the valves yet. I might get it going first and get everything settled back in. If there's any rust or anything under those valves, they're all gonna settle and the clearances are gonna change again. So get it running, get it warm, get it firing on all four and go from there. Just do a tune up after that. I'll just refit the starter and hook the power back up and see if she works. Okay, I've got the starter back in it. I'm just gonna touch it, try and blow all the stuff out of the cylinders, and then I'll keep it spinning for a little bit. There's a heap of stuff caught in the fan too, and some sort of rodent's been bloody made a nest in there. Okay, so hopefully that rag catches all. The compression might blow it off, but it is what it is. I'm sort of trying to stand back a little bit. Whoa! Hit the 514 next to her. Give her another go. Fucking hell. Showered me in the stuff. Give her another one. Well, she's gonna go now. Brilliant. Probably all over the lens of the camera, is it? No. Not too bad. It's all over everything else. There's going to be a lot of smoke if she fires. If you hear a noise in the background, my dad's cutting something with a drop saw. Like that. Okay, I've got a bit of torch and see which ones have still got the copper washer down in there. Looks like 3 of them still do. Let me have a look at the end of the squirters. That's the order, I reckon. No, that's not. This number 1 cylinder has none in it, so that's it there. The rest, the washer stayed in there. Okay, just going to put a bit of Never-Seez around these. So there's nothing on the seat. She's going to be smoky when she eventually goes, but everything's going to be well lubed. And Never-Seez on each of those studs, those are 5/16 UNF. Not that that matters, but we're going to run it without those leak-off lines on. It starts leaking out of them and everything. I'll get the required parts to fix that. And as I said, that old 6G with the same engine, it doesn't leak out of there. Neither does the old Sami Centauro. So, okay, I'm pretty happy with how this is up here. I'm going to leave those lines off, try and get some fuel to them. I've oiled the rocker shaft. I've decided that I'm not going to change the oil just yet. As I said, when we picked it up, I dropped some oil out of it, and there was no water present at all. So what I'd like to do is flush it out with that old oil, get it hot, and then drop it all at once, just in case. I don't want to waste $100 more on oil if it's not going to work properly. So that's where we're at now. I'm going to try and bleed the fuel system out. I have got a filter for it. Oh, actually no, I don't. That's a cartridge type. I've got a CAB 296 here, but that's not the same, so I might even just see if she gets fuel up. Just try and bleed her up. And hasn't got a manual primer pump, this. I might clean some screens out and just try and drain the tank, pressurise the tank, try and get a bit up into her. And I don't want to run it off ether if I can help it, but who knows? With all them rings stuck how it was, it may need that to get going, and a bit of warmth and free everything up. Okay, so I've just pulled the, see in there, the lift pump. It hasn't got a manual lever on it. Just runs off a camshaft in there, but this gauze was completely blocked, so that's how they'd been using her. So I'll put that back in, and then there's a glass bowl down there which is the first filter. So I've just tipped 20 litres in it. That's the first, like a sediment bowl, goes up to a screen here, then your main filter, and then into there's another gauze in there, which I won't do now, but after it's all running, caught a bit more stuff, I'll pull that out. So I'm trying my hardest here to get this going, and then you get blokes like this that just want to call in and have like a cold snack. So I've just pulled the sediment bowl off, and you can see that's meant to be see-through clear glass, but inside and out is chock-a-block. So we're going to clean that out, and then we might pressurise the tank to get it to here at least. Then she might pick it up when it hits that lift pump. But that lift pump there, you can see the new shiny bolt in the middle of it. The one the took out of it was too short, and it only went in, I don't know, quarter of an inch, if that, and it pulled the threads out. So I found a longer one and picked up the threads that it had missed, and it's fine now. So part of I didn't video, but that's what happened. That wouldn't have worked like that. So mix pressurised the fuel tank. We've got fuel up to the primary bowl, sediment bowl. We've got her up to the lift pump, the filter, and now the top bleed screw, and the pump's bled. So when we start winding this, if that pump's in good condition, it's going to come out those 4 lines there. Haven't put water in the radiator yet. We probably should do that to lubricate that water pump actually. So we'll do that first, then we'll give her a wind, see if we can bleed them up to those injector lines, and we'll give her a go. Oh, she might be just a bit restricted, Mick. It's still taking it. Okay, we're going to film from this angle because on the other side it's picking up all the light out of the shed, and it's just not working for me with this camera how it's set up. So hopefully you can see it properly. You can see the exhaust, so that's the main thing. You're going to be able to hear it. First thing I'm going to do is bleed the injectors. We've got fuel up to the pump, so it shouldn't take much if the pump's working to get it up to the injectors. The radiator's got a slight leak. Okay, some of them have got fuel now, so 2 of them have got fuel. I'll shut them off. See, she might start firing on those. All right, we'll see what happens after 26 at least years. She should be starting to fire on 2 injectors. Not a lot of smoke, but these 2 are starting to spit here too, so I might have to give her a bit of a sniff off to save the starter. I'm just going to give her a slight sprinkle of ether just to save that starter and battery. Whoa! Bit of rust, a few birds' nests. Look at the cloud. Oh, we'll need a beer after that, won't we?
What else bloody flew out?
Probably all the birds' nesting behind the bloody.
Still recording.
Well, she's controllable anyway. Just trying to save that old starter and the battery just by giving her a bit of that. I say one of them's riding a bit and stalled her. Oh, geez, I'll get a...
that other one?
Oh, I did, yeah. Just try and fuck right round with it so it centres again. Well, she's going to unload at that rate, but we're nearly out of time. I'd like to all get on her and run down and see Dad.
That'd be interesting. Well, I think that's 10 on there.
Right. I'll give her another go.
You want to put some water in or?
She's certainly loosened up, hasn't she? Yeah. It is, yeah. It's off there though. So what's going on there? See, I backed the idle off, but now the governor's all starting to free up again. See, she's idling itself back. So where it was probably pretty good. Okay, it's the next weekend. I'm pretty impressed with how this charged the battery, but I mean, it didn't do any different a job, I don't think, to the eBay ones, but at least it's given us a readout of the percentage and it load tests it and everything. So this here is a battery that I was taking to scrap. These are all scrap ones that I sort of bring home when they've had it and go to machines, get a bit more out of them, then I take them back, but some of them, the cap ones anyway. So this is dead. I'm just going to see it's got a setting on it, which I'll have to look at on the phone. I don't know if you can see that. I've put all the details in. It's got 12 volt repair, so I assume that all you do is press start. Input value is out of the test range. Battery rating, I didn't thought I entered that. 750 cold cranking amps. Battery pre-testing. Apparently it sends pulses, so you can see 25% that's in it, so it was down. You can see the pulses there it's putting into it, so I'll give you an update at the end to see what's changed. So saying 100% there, but I don't know why it's reading that. Anyway, we'll come back to it. Hopefully it works, because there's a lot of batteries here I could still use. Don't forget the other one. It's easy. Okay, this is run once, which was last weekend in the last 28 to 30 years. It was parked where it was 26 years ago. And when it was parked there, it was tilt trade to where it was after probably 4 or 5 years in the previous spot. So without any protection over the engine. Again, it's probably going to spoil the will it start episode if it goes again, but it is what it is. Bit of water in it, she leaks out of the radiator, which is pretty cold here today too, so it's going to be a good ad for if she does. Oh, see what she does. She's out of gear.
governor's a bit tight on her. She's oil. Worked last week, now it won't. Give her another go. I thought that was hydraulic oil blowing everywhere. It's only water out of that no cap on her. Well, there you go. First time in, what did I say, 28 years or something that she's been driven. The clutch was slipping a little bit, but fairly happy with it. You can see those front tyres. For those of you, well, none of you have seen the video where we picked it up. You see that one there was flat for the whole time, but it pumped up. So we only put about 18 pound in it just to get it on the truck. So probably should hold about 70, but I wasn't game to do that with it. And this one here was the same, but it's in better condition. We just didn't want to put too much. I've got a couple to put on that. I had to put a back one on it. They're 18.428, but I had a 16.928, which is the same rim size. That's why it's a bit smaller to look at. So. But please don't let it turn you off the Will It Start episode. That's still coming. It'll be a couple of weeks because we've got to do the pickup one first. So it's all good fun. It's all good footage. So we drove the old truck up. A few mishaps on the way back. Nothing we couldn't get past, but yeah, there's another one, another Chamberlain. I think we've got 5 now. This was my grandfather's and I saved it. I've got 2 of his old Chamberlains now, which he only had 2, so it's worth going and getting. As you can hear, the engine didn't run real well, but I didn't expect it to after that long. It just needs the injectors cleaning out or rebuilding and a valve set probably, and I think she'll come good. Put some filters on her and drain the old fuel out. I took most of it out, but well, what water I found in there, but yeah, she's still a bit rough, so it's enough to get it in here to work on anyhow. All right, everyone, hope you enjoyed that. There'll be more on it, but I'll probably just get it, I'm not going to do too much, just get it so it's a bit more reliable to drive down the back while we do some other jobs. So if you didn't see where we picked it up, go back and watch that too. And thanks everyone for subscribing. Thanks everyone that watches, comments and Patreon members. See you on the next one.